And this chapter is about my mom. And there are some certain truths about our relationship in this, and this particular chapter is called Mother Immunity. My mother keeps emailing me articles about colon cancer. No matter what mood I might be in, there it awaits, death prevention. In college, she sent me articles about rubbers and STDs. When the SARS scare ran into Y2K, I just stopped opening the envelopes. I hear you, my sweet mother. You have fears of things that can wipe me out. I am your offspring. If the disease that ultimately kills me is on her radar and she didn't email me about it, warn me, shoot the figurative flare, she dies. My mother is not the little gray lady readers must picture when I refer to her as sweet. No Afghan yet, no drooling, no dentures. She's the one that gave me the symmetry, so she's been pretty for a really long time. She's probably still attractive in her 70s because of all the articles on herbs and mushrooms she's read. Now that I'm 45, she wants me to know every time we speak that her father died 5 days before my birth from colon cancer, and it's about time I allowed someone to cram a scope with a camera up my asshole. It's hard to explain how the heterosexual male feels about his asshole. If too much effort is put into describing it, you sound like a homophobe or Jeb Bush. My mom calls me on Sunday, her father's birthday. Hi, listen, she says, it's going to be uncomfortable, but it's absolutely crucial that you go get the colonoscopy because your grandfather died 5 days before your birth, and I became very depressed afterwards. I had just buried him, so much emotion swirling. I told you I would see a doctor. Tell your doctor in California to send your records to Florida. I can handle it, Mother. I pick a Dr. Goldfarb over a Dr. Goldman because I like his photograph. He looks like someone I went to Hebrew school with. How rough could he be? He pokes and prods, asks me to say, same old stuff. He says, you're only 45 and don't need the scope until 50. I'm so pleased. That morning, I'd made sure my butt looked sharp for its interview, and we're done without the slightest probe. I do feel bad for my mother. No colonoscopy for 5 years. She's going to be so disappointed. I call her as soon as I get home. She says, I think he's waiting too long for someone who may be high risk, but fine, if that's what he said. Think of it this way. Gives you something to look forward to, I say. I know people who've chosen to do it sooner, she says, when they're high risk. Do you eat quinoa? Do I eat what? Quinoa. I envision a large jar of whatever it is in my mailbox on Tuesday. I see it filled with multicolored corn that's been marinated in the placenta sac of a cow. When dry, remove each kernel and place it under your tongue while sitting under a banyan tree. You will live longer than Yoda. I'll try some, I say. You'll never get sick, she says. The last weird-sounding herb she sent me was for nausea, shingles, and dysentery, I think. I sprinkled it on my cereal while my wife laughed. I ate all of it and actually got a little lightheaded before falling asleep in the living room for 11 hours. Google it, my mother says. I will. Just Google it. Quinoa originated in the Andean region of Ecuador, Bolivia, Colombia, and Peru, where it was successfully domesticated 3,000 to 4,000 years ago for human consumption. Soil requirements, harvesting and handling. Handling involves threshing the seed heads and winnowing the seed to remove the husk. Before storage, the seeds need to be dried in order to avoid germination. I find the stuff in Whole Foods and decide to eat it every day until I die. My commitment to it feels unrealistic, but if it helps my brain, some of my depression, I have to try. I am on board. I want my kids to be into it too. My mother will think I'm the smartest person on earth. She'll smell quinoa on my breath when I visit, see it in my gait, my random and giddy good moods. I think about how to keep satchels of it in my garage. I spoon some on my son's dinner plate. He looks at it like it's shit. No way, he said. Try to get my daughter to eat it. Her tongue comes out like a little turtle head. The tip bumps the quinoa. She likes it. She takes a bite. I am positive I just added 15 to 20 years to her life and enough serotonin to get her through her 40s. Now I have to get it in my son. I offer him money. I don't want it. It's for longevity and happiness. It looks gross. Do you want to live long and be happy? Stop saying that. Mom, tell Dad to stop. Don't torture him. He's going to live a long and happy and wonderful life. I call my mother to tell her how much I like the stuff, how upbeat I feel. Turns out she's read an article that says quinoa, taken in high amounts, can cause irritable bowel syndrome in less than 3% of users. There is a pause between us as I pick the seeds from my teeth. But honey, she says, have you heard of this mushroom called Agaricus blasi myrrle? No, Mother. Google it. Also known as Agaricus brasileatus, the mushroom is a front-runner in cancer research. Immortality in a mushroom. I buy 2.5 pounds and call my mother to tell her. I can hear her smiling through the phone, and I know why she's happy. At least her younger son will never, ever die. Thank you.